Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. Trust you're good, trust you're doing well. So today we are going to be learning how to make a deep illusion neckline, just like what you're seeing on the screen. So please don't mind this, please, the stain, don't mind the stain. Is the iron that stained that part. So we're going to be learning how to make this as very easy and simple. I'm going to walk you through the process of cutting and sewing this with a neat finishing. As you can see, the back part is well finished. Did you see that? So if it is what you are interested in learning, kindly watch this video to the end. And if you are new here, you are highly welcome. This is JB Fashion World, where we learn pattern drafting, freehand cutting and sewing as well. Kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we upload a new video. And if you have subscribed, and to all my old subscribers, thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you. Let's get started. So for us to get started, we'll be needing our front and back basic bodice block. As you can see on the screen, I have my front drafted with my neckline, with my shoulder and hole, and I've drawn some lines and I'm going to be labeling them. So you'll be needing your bust point, your under bust line and waistline, your bust point line, under bust line and waistline. For the back, you'll be needing the bust point line. We will not be needing the under bust line, so that line was a mistake. And then we'll also be needing waistline. For this particular pattern, I'm not using a bust dart, but you can decide to use a bust dart for yours. I have a tutorial on this channel where I made a video on how to draft a basic bodice block with bust darts. So I'm going to just be making use of my normal basic bodice block. Please note that this line is a mistake. This is the main line. Did you see that? So the other line was a mistake. So now we're going to go into the drafting and I'm going to be getting my dart. So on the waistline now, I'm going to be marking my dart. I'm going to be marking my 1/4 of my waistline, which is 26 divided by 4, 6.5, and I'm also going to be marking 1.5 inches as my dart. So you can use more than 1.5 or 2 inches as your dart. So for my waistline, this is the zipper part, so I'm not going to start from the zipper part. I'm also going to mark 1/4 of my waist circumference plus 1 inch for that. And I'm going to be tightening the back part. So I'm going to come in by 1 inch from the zipper allowance and I'm going to connect it like this. Did you see that? So this part is going to be cut off. So the 1 inch that I took from the back part, I'm going to add it back here. Did you see? So you measure 1/4 of your waist circumference, add 1 inch for that, and then add 1 inch for the back tightening, and then you're going to connect like this. Did you see that? So for my waistline now, I'm going to be marking my dart. I took that of 1.5 inches towards the side seam side. I'm going to mark 1 inch, and towards the other side I'm going to mark half an inch. Did you see? Just to mark the 1.5 inches dart. On my bust line, I'm going to mark my dart line. So I'm going to come down by half of an inch and then I'm going to connect my dart. I have made a video on how to draft bustier for plus size, where I told you guys how to take the dart for different bust size, so you can go and watch this video. I will leave the link in the description box. So for this one, the bust is a bit small. The person has a smaller bust, that is why I came down on the bust point by half an inch. So on my under bust, I'm going to be tightening the under bust. I'm going to mark 1/4 of the under bust circumference mark 1/4 of the under bust circumference. Did you see? I'm going to mark the dart intake on the under bust. I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to check the excess that I have. I have 3/4 of an inch, and on this side I'm going to mark half, and on this side I'm going to mark 1/4, making it 3/4 of an inch. So basically what I did is to take 1/4 of my under bust line, under bust circumference, add my dart intake, and the excess that I have on that under bust line, I divided it on the both side of the dart, and I'm going to grab my French curve and I'm going to tighten my under bust. So this is how you tighten your under bust line. Did you see that? And I'm going to take the dart straight to the waistline. So having done that, I'm going to get the midpoint of my shoulder and connect it to my bust point line. That is, did you see it? So I'm going to now determine how I want the dilution to be. I'm going to determine how covered I want it to be on the upper part. So it can either come up by 2, 3, 4 inches depending on how much cleavage you want to show. So because this is a tutorial, I'm going to go up by 2 inches, though from the bust part I'm going to go up by 2 inches, though the 2 inches will still expose my bust, but just because it's a tutorial and I'm not going to wear it, so that is why. So for your client, you can decide to measure their cleavage so you will know how to do it for them. So on that line, from the bust point line, I came up by 2.5, so I'm going to mark half an inch on both sides. This is to tighten my upper bust. Did you see that? So I'm going to now connect. From the bust point, I'm also going to come up by half an inch and I'm going to connect like this. So this is just to tighten the upper bust. Did you see that? This is just to tighten the upper bust. So you are going to make sure it's not that pointed or curvy at the bust point line. So the next thing is on my armhole side, I'm going to come down by half an inch to connect. So I'm just going to place it like this and then connect my lines. Did you see that? So I've connected one part of the cup size. Did you see? So for this one now, for this side now, on the bust point, you're going to determine how wide you want it. As you can see, my own, that the one that I made is wider than the one on the picture, so it all depends on you. So you can, I used 1 inch, so you can use 0.75 of or half an inch. If you use 1 inch, if you open it up, it's going to be 2 inches. You use 3/4, when you open it up, it's going to be 1.5. So I used 1 inch and I'm going to connect like this. Did you see the way I'm going to connect it? So I'm going to determine where I want this illusion to stop. I think is best to stop either on the under bust, or you come down by 1 inch from the under bust. So I'm going to come down by 1 inch from the under bust, place my French curve like this and connect it. So it depends on how wide you want yours to be. This is a tutorial, so you can decide to make it wide, you can decide to make it a bit close, you can decide to just play around it to get whatever thing you desire for your illusion. You can even take this illusion to the waistline. If you don't want it to sit on the underbust, you can take it to the waistline. So I've gone ahead to mark my dart for the back part. Did you see? So the 1 inch that I took as my tightening, I'm going to add it back. It's best to add it back to avoid it being shortened. So I'm going to add it back. I'm going to connect to the waistline. Did you see that? Did you see what I did? So now on the back part of my dress, there is no much thing to do there. Just to get the midpoint of the shoulder, connect it to the bust point. Did you see? And then connect your yoke. Did you see? So from the armhole, come down by half an inch and then connect the yoke. Do any neckline of your choice for your back. Did you see that? So we have successfully drafted this pattern. As you can see, this is very easy and simple to make. Even if you are a beginner, you can still understand it. So we are going to go into the cutting process. So at this point, I'm just going to curve this so that it will be easier for me to cut. As you can see, I'm done cutting, so I'm going to go ahead and mark my neckline. So you're going to mark the neckline of your choice. So I think I'm using 4x3, 4 as the width and 3 as the depth. For the back, I'm going to use 4 by 1.5. So you're just going to mark the neckline of your choice and then you're going to cut this out. So when we are done, this is what you are going to have. So this is going to be 2 pieces and this is going to be 2 pieces. You're going to just be adding your sewing allowance and side seam allowance. Sewing allowance for joining on the zipper part, you're not going to be adding any allowance. So this is going to be cut on fold and you're going to add all your necessary joining and sewing allowance. And for these two, did you see? This is how it's going to be. You can cut this on fold, but I'm going to cut this open. So I'm going to be adding seam allowance on that side so that it can be easier for me to sew. Did you see? So you can cut it on fold, but I'm going to be cutting 2 pieces of this. I'm just going to join it on that center front and I'm going to add all my necessary sewing allowance and side seam sewing allowance. So I've done that. So I've gone ahead to cut this on fabric. So for the back part, this part are the net part, I doubled it. So for this part, I cut out 4 pieces, 2 for the main fabric and 2 for the lining. This part is 4 pieces, 2 for the main fabric and 2 for the lining as well. This is 2 and is on fold. One is going to I'm going to be joining the 2 of them. And for this part, I cut 4 pieces, 2 for the main fabric and 2 for the lining. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my wadding for padding this dress. So I'm trying to be fast so that the video will not be that long. So I believe you know how to do this part very well, but you can still follow me in case you are a beginner, you understand what I'm doing. So I've gone ahead to cut out this. So I cut and stopped at the underbust. For this part, I have marked where I want it to be, how I want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that part. Did you see? I'm going to just go ahead and cut this, and on the underbust I'm going to notch it and then cut this out. Did you see what I'm doing? So this is very, very easy and simple. So I didn't want to start taking it one after the other because I believe that most of you know how to do this part. So did you see that? So on the underbust, notch on the bust point line, and on the underbust you can notch. So you're going to place your wadding, the visible part facing the wrong side, like so. The visible part, did you see? So you're going to go ahead and iron for this part as well. You're going to open it up. The visible part is going to face the wrong side. visible part is going to face the wrong side, and you're going to go ahead and iron this. So when you are done ironing, this is what we have. Did you see? This is what we have. So we're going to go ahead and sew. So on the sewing machine now, I'm trying to use my pattern to check so I won't make mistake, so I will know the side to be joined to the other side. So I'm just going to place it like this. I like starting from the underbust, pin it down. From my underbust, I'm going to start sewing by 1/2 inch or the inch that you added. So I'm sorry my camera cut off this side, but what I did is that I just sewed 1/2 inch all round. I didn't know my camera was not recording. So when you are done sewing, this is what you are going to have. Sorry about that. Did you see? I've sewn the other side. I didn't know my camera cut off this part. Just sew by 1/2 inch. It's very easy and simple. Did you see that? Did you see? So this is what you have. So I'm now going to go ahead to attach the illusion neck on it. So but before I do that, I'm going to just mark the point where the illusion is going to stop. You know, we came down by 1/2 inch from the underbust, so you're just going to go ahead and mark that 1 inch on the underbust. That is where your illusion is going to stop. Did you see? I've gone ahead to iron this part. I've opened up the seam and I've ironed that part. So for the illusion now, I cut out 2 of it. So I'm going to be joining the 2 together. I don't like using 1. So I'm just going to be joining the 2. So I'll pin it down before sewing, because this is a mesh. It's very important you use your pin to hold it down to avoid one side being longer than the other side. So I'll go ahead and sew back stitch and sew all round. So when you are done, you are going to cut out the excess. Cut out all the excess that you have there, and then notch the remaining part. Notch. This is going to allow it to relax. Then turn it to the right side. You have successfully closed the neckline of this. You have successfully closed it up. So this is what you are going to have. So now I'm just going to hold the side of this mesh, so that by the time I'll be joining it on the fabric, it will not be going one side. So I'm trying to just hold the side of this mesh before joining it to the main fabric. So when you are done, this is what you are going to have. I have done that. So I'm going to now place this illusion from that 1/2 inch under the bust point like so. Did you see? Use my pin and hold it. Did you see? And then I'll be using my pin to pin this all around till I get to the neckline area. Did you see? Just take your time, use your pin and do this before sewing. So did you see? So this is what I have. I've used my pin to hold it down. Did you see that? So I've used my pin to hold it down. So I'm going to go ahead and sew it, starting from the 1 inch under 1 inch below the underbust that I placed this from that side. I'm going to sew it a little and then sew all around. So as you sew, you remove your pins. So as you can see now, I have sewn this side. Did you see? I have sewn one side of it. So this is what I have sewn one side of this. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the other side as well. So I'm also going to use my pin and pin it just the way I did for the first part. Did you see? I've used my pin to pin this side. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew and sew it just the way I sewed the other side. So I'm going to start by that 1 inch below the under bust and start sewing till I get to my armhole side. So if you're enjoying this video, please give this video a big thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed to this moment, what are you still waiting for? Please kindly subscribe and do share this video with your friends that might be interested in it. Going to remove all the pins that I added there. So when I'm done, this is what I'm going to have. Did you see what I have? Did you see? So I'm going to now flip it like this, right side facing each other, hold it like this, and then go ahead and finish up this side. So I've gone ahead to sew that part now. Remove all your pins. So when you are done, this is what you are going to have. Let me bring it closer so you can see it. So this is what you are going to have when you are done. So we've not ironed this. So the next thing now is to cover this up with your lining. So this is the lining. I've sewn it, and then I'm just going to place it like this. Open one of the side seam and then use my pin and then place it like so and hold it. So this is how I'm going to place it, and that is how I'm going to also sew it. Just follow what I'm doing, you will get it. So did you see? Hold it like this, pin it. Did you see that? So when you are done pinning it, you are going to sew it by 1/2 inch, and when you open it up, did you see, this is how it's going to look like. So let's go ahead and also sew this part. I'm sorry, my camera cut off some part of this video, so sorry about that. So I'll go ahead and sew this by 1/2 inch all round. So as you can see now, I've sewn that part, so I'm going to notch all around it. Did you see that? So I'm going to turn it to the right side so you will see what we have. So let me just bring it close for you to see it. So this is the back part, this is the front part, sorry, and this is the back part. So I'm going to go ahead and close up this side as well. I'm sorry, my camera cut off some part of this video, but this is what we have. Please don't mind this. This is the stain from my iron, so please don't mind this. So this is what we have. As you can see, it's actually very easy and simple to make. So this is the wrong side of it. So what I'm going to do is to cut off some excesses inside this place. Did you see? Notch it very well, notch it all around very well, and then I'm going to go ahead and top stitch this. The top stitching is very important so that this thing can easily lap or just sit well. Did you see? Just open it up on the wrong side and sew it all around gently till you get to the other side. So you're also going to do it for this side from the wrong side. Now from the wrong side, you open it up and top stitch all round. So for the back part, I've gone ahead to join. I've closed up the neckline just like I did for the front part, and I've joined the yoke and the back part. Did you see? I have joined them together, and this is what I have. So I'm going to grab this part, the down part of this back part. So this is it. So just place it like this, right? And then turn it up like this, take it up like this, use your pin and hold it. You are going to be using it to close up this down parts of this back part. Did you see? So as I've pinned it down, I'm going to go ahead and sew, and when you open it up, this is what you are going to have. So as you can see, I am done sewing. This is what I have. Did you see? This is what I have. I've gone ahead to sew it. When you open it up, this is what you will have. So the next thing is to now join the two side seam, the front and the back, and also the shoulder. So I'm just going to open it up like this. There are many ways to join this, but I think I'll be using this method. Just open it up like this, place this side, the two side like so, use your pin and hold it down. This is for the side seam. Now there are a lot of ways to do this, but I think this one would be faster for us. So use your pin and hold this down. Did you see that? Just hold it, the front and the back part. I just opened it up by the side seam and then hold the two together, the right side and the right side of the two facing each other. Did you see? When you open it up, this is what you are going to get. I have not sewn it yet. I just use my pin to hold it, and when you turn it to the right side, this is what you are going to get. So I'll go ahead and sew it, but before I do that, let me show you how you can also sew your shoulder. So you're going to open the shoulder, the two shoulder like this. You are going to open it up like this and place it the right side of each facing each other. Use your pin, hold it, and also hold this part. So hold these two parts. Did you see? So that by the time you are done sewing it, so you are going to hold it like this and then sew it, so that when you open it up, this is what you are going to have. Did you see? This is what you are going to have for this back part. Did you see that? Did you see? And this is going to be the armhole. So I'll go ahead and join all this and show you the final result. So I am done. This is the final result. I'm done joining all this, the side seam, the shoulder, and all of that. Did you see? I have a lot of video on my channel that will teach you how to do an inseam finishing. So this is the final result. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.